Friday, June 12th, 1:18 p.m. What's up, everybody? So, the turmoil, the great order flow catastrophe of SpaceX IPO has been resolved. And so, basically what happened was just the congestion. I ended up getting through to somebody at Schwab, and it was just congested order flow because of the SpaceX IPO, the substantial volume, which I do not think is acceptable in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what the hardware, infrastructure, architecture needs to be, but that is not an acceptable thing. And so, because this could be catastrophic. We're not even trading the IPO. We're just over here taking a measly 5 shares at Snowflake. But hey, this thing goes crazy. If these are real positions, huge, tremendous, couldn't have been of a bigger problem. Sitting down to do a math video. Wanted to say a couple things about the IPO, mainly just the fraud. Again, the amount of property being stolen from me. Imagine if you had demonstrated the form of all logic with complete undeniable proof, like speciality is special with an ITY, and you had all of that intellectual property, and you could start a company. I wonder what your company would be worth. And then I can show you the Kevin Gates song where they're saying, King B, I bought you a chain and they're making it rain on you. It's like, can I get to live my life at all? So that was my great reward today for, again, to continue to be the only person to produce novel derivation, which is conceptualization, and then prove it. You guys don't really get that, but you can't think of anything else that isn't a part of conceptualized in culture. So obviously Brad gets nothing, but I'm thinking if you had intellectual property that was the training algorithms for all these major LLMs, all of this agentic workflow, the educational structure for the whole species and definitely into the future, that might be worth a lot of money. But luckily for me, I get to live nothing. And so we have this IPO for my overall trade today. Again, just taking something super small. Kind of expecting the IPO, I wanted to say was right around 11.50 or when the first trade was exchanged publicly. The whole dynamic of this, having 25% or 30% for retail, I don't know what that means. As I said, and again, I haven't been able to take any companies public because Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution remains violated. And so that would protect my rights to my writings and my discoveries and ability to monetize my property. But I don't get to do that. And so I've never taken a company public. And so again, this amount for retail as being something different, no experience, no insight. Is that advantageous? No experience, no insight. Because kind of like the sentiments like Elon Musk is for the people. Hey, Elon, with all your chromosome extension pack, don't you remember when you changed your Twitter handle to Lumbridge or to Trollheim, one of those RuneScape cities? Because I was playing a bunch of RuneScape, and Lex Friedman was also, why would people spend so much time on a specific game thinking about me playing RuneScape? But again, we're still not allowed to acknowledge that Brad exists in the world. Yeah, that's cool. And so I'm glad you get to live your life, dude. It's pretty cool. Wow, $1.3 trillion for special Elon with that extended chromosome pack. Brad does not get to monetize the most foundational derivation in history. Awesome. But my overall thought was this was the dynamic of the trading session was going to be something similar to an NVIDIA earnings, where we have a big buildup and then maybe a little sell-off or a little relief. Throughout the market, the overall IPO, again, as we stated a while ago, I had no intentions of actually trading it. And that was still what's going on here. Meaning not taking a position, still seeing none to borrow, nothing. This is nothing I would short, but nothing, just IPOs in general. You play the pop, I would guess would be, meaning if you're a retail, again, as I just said, don't know the dynamics of anything prior to this thing pops up on my terminal and you can start trading it. Seems to be a good, just literally buy like the initial open and then trade. I would say this will have appreciate into the end of the close to today. I'd imagine it would trade, like have a pop in the morning on Monday, or might just trade down. But overall, IPOs is not something I trade. This one being a massive one. The biggest, and this is what I wanted to really emphasize, is just the grandeur around it. Look at this, the great American dream. We have Sarah Eisen and Jimmy Cramer's even on here in the lunch hour, which isn't usual for Jimmy. And we're just celebrating the great American strides in business progress. I just turned off my Trader TV, and Jimmy Cramer was saying, today is America's day for the great business innovators. Yep, you guys all have lawsuits. The largest IPO in American history. Well, another day of more damages that IPOs can't finance. You guys aren't real business people. You guys don't really create real value. You just lie, cheat, and steal. So again, continuing to emphasize prioritization to my estate, to criminally charge and to imprison everybody on the CNBC news desk that we've referenced directly, as well as all of these major business leaders. They are stealing from me. They are lying. They are cheating. All of their infrastructure, all of their people go to these academic institutions that are committing fraud. And so, yeah, this is the real American dream. Again, if you actually innovate, if you actually disrupt, you get to sit at your parents' house for the rest of your life and never get to live a life at any minute of any day. But you get to watch Special Elon with his downloadable content for the chromosome extension, the DLC. He gets to become $1.3 trillion of net worth. But I can't even go to the grocery store and buy food. But again, is vibration and rhythm being fundamental inverses to describe motion? Is that going to change at any point in the indefinite future as long as the Earth culture exists? No. And so if I took, $10 a year from every university from now until the end of the culture on Earth, I would be more valuable than this amount of money today. $10. For a cheap price of $10, all of the universities, right? How many is education going to be the same in 1 billion years? How about 1 trillion years? Well, that's $10 trillion right there. Just gotta, let the money accumulate. But truly, it's just a disgrace. There's no respect for the Constitution. This is just the privileged group of the Americans. And Elon Musk is not even American. He comes from South Africa. As we've said, that's one of the weirder places in the world. But this is what privilege looks like. And again, we have a president who has no problem tweeting off random things. Is there any chance he would tweet, hey, Brad solved all the science? Donald, you could be the president to disclose the fundamental dissemination of scientific discovery. But once again, Brad is so far outside of consensus that we would never even care. No matter how much we destroy another human being's life, we just don't care because we have no values. So that was the biggest thing, is just this overall American dream bullshit sentiment being echoed by, look at this great stride in American progress, and we're still in an environment where people just get the slightest bit of value, and then they just burn through one capital raise, and then they go to another group and raise another capital raise, and it's just a bunch of hamsters running around, and it's not real value, and you don't really have cash flow generating companies, and you guys are just fucking criminals, man. But that's the American dream. Live at your parents' house while Special Elon gets to live his life. And then you can't even execute an order flow. As you, again, sit here, that is the dominating thing in my head, is I sold the house, I sold some Bitcoins, I've never paid $1 in tax, I've been seeking asylum, I don't have constitutional rights. Does it matter? Does the law matter? 0%. So that is why I do not have every penny that I have legally right here on this account sitting on an index fund and going camping. Genuinely, literally just going hiking on trails, walking around, looking at birds and stuff, doing my little math videos, having a nice time, because I'm not allowed to participate in the business world, which is really where I want to be, considering I have a profound amount of property. So being able to run a business, be able to... But now you guys just have tremendous liability. No one cares. No one's ever going to take me seriously. To my estate, literally just put all of these people at zero. There was nothing else to say. Nothing really to say on the IPO trading dynamics. Expected to go up, expected to trade kind of flat with a little bit of up. That's about it. Maybe a little pop into Monday, but it being Friday, I'm thinking it's going to close up today and then open lower on Monday. And then no real opinion. We'll just kind of see. I'm sure it'll be in the news. It'll be NVIDIA, SpaceX, NVIDIA, SpaceX, NVIDIA, SpaceX. Up. What is the CPI doing? Up. NVIDIA, SpaceX, NVIDIA, SpaceX. Holy shit, Kevin Warsh is in the building. We're going up or down on the interest rates. Okay, back to NVIDIA and SpaceX. That will be our news cycle and definitely into the future, because again, we will not talk about the most fundamental scientific discovery ever proven in history. The form of all logic, it is what it is. But again, emphasizing tremendous problem, Schwab. I don't know how that was even a thing. I'm not even trading. Because again, what is that? Is that overall just like compute power? Do we need to just have a little more CapEx spend from Schwab and maybe rent a little, maybe not $2.4 billion a month, maybe, like $10 million a month, and have enough server capacity, compute capacity to manage order flow? Again, wasn't even on SpaceX. and it was just like the whole exchange. Because again, the actual relationship between brokerage, because brokerage is exchanging shares with other brokerages, right? The shorting we've pointed out explicitly. I'm pretty sure you only short when you have available shares to short. It comes from the same broker, but when you're lining up a trade, that's an intermarket dynamic. Like I said, I've never ran a level 2 or level 3 even. Holy cow. The really cool kids get level 3. I haven't been a market maker before. But that is just not acceptable. That is just such a huge, massive, immediate problem. What are you going to do? But we did get it sorted out. It just turned up to be the congestion. But again, it's just such a nuclear warhead going off when you don't have access to order flow. It's just like, rejected. We don't want to extend. And these are such small positions. But still, 5 shares, this goes up $100, that's $500. Whatever happens, and you can't put in orders is tremendously not okay. So that was our trading topics for today. Is nothing works because nothing works, and then nothing works. Just wait for it. Nobody's working. All of these hardworking Americans actually are just incompetent idiots. It's a super secret, nuanced thing that nobody has noticed. Except everybody notices. It's just everybody's hypocrites. So I'm not going to draw it out too long. Again, it's just I don't get how any day goes past without somebody just giving me a little bit of money to eat properly, to sleep properly, and to work. But I have a lot of math to get through, so we're going to move on to that. Nothing really else to say. Snowflake, I will close this out. Won't hold this open throughout the weekend. And so maybe we'll make $8 over here. Maybe we'll lose $10 if we hit our stop loss. That is a hard stop loss. But just overall, wanting to play the market dynamic of expecting some sort of diminishing. Okay, we have our SpaceX IPO. The lunch hour is getting through 1:30 right now. Kind of expecting I know I'm a broken record Friday afternoon, expecting a little bit of a sell-off, and we're probably not going to get it, and I'll say I'm an idiot. But again, no real conviction. Just, again, we have to have a risk tolerance to trade, and just wanting to say something about the SpaceX IPO, literally sitting down to work, and then the order flow gets all gummed up. And so that was a fun episode. Might have to edit some things. Again, I don't ever say anything bad. It's just, again, I live in an environment where if I raise my voice, I get just called mentally ill, and it's just because, again, I am destitute. I am seeking asylum. I do not have constitutional rights. I cannot eat food properly. I cannot sleep properly, and there is no resolution. And I try every day to just be productive, and it's just the same bullshit every day. It can't change. No one cares. That is what I have for trading. There won't be a follow-up. I'll either just close Snowflake, either up or down, not holding anything open throughout the weekend. This hard stop loss, and it will not be added to. And so that is it for trading today. The overall SpaceX IPO is just a demonstrable exhibition of privilege for people that are allowed to participate in the economy. The real American dream is, if you happen to be watching this video at any point in time, I will never have a career in a family because everyone's just a bunch of liars and nobody cares. So that's the real American reality. But if you're privileged enough and from South Africa and you got that downloadable extension pack for your chromosomes, you're allowed to live a life, I guess. Regardless, that is what I have for trading this week. And if I'm ever allowed to live a life, maybe we'll just hunker down on whatever that is. But it doesn't seem likely. See you on the next one. Lee Boas. Not very good. Your thinkorswim's messing up again.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. What kind of issues are you having with the thinkorswim platform?
I had a stop loss order open, and it went past the stop loss number, and then it just kind of glitched out.
Okay, so it did not place that trade?
No, it placed the trade. It just glitched out. There was a stop loss order. It went through the execution price, and then it didn't execute the order, and then it won't let me cancel the order, and now it won't let me place a different order on the same security. So I just get to sit here and just, sweet. God, your guys, Schwab has been terrible. Thinkorswim has been terrible. Ever since Schwab has bought TD Ameritrade, this platform has been awful. Thanks. So I don't have my microphone plugged in right. Fucking God. I can't even record. Fucking Christ, man. So if I'm allowed to talk, I don't have my microphone plugged in, but what you can see here is we had a stop loss order placed, and it went through the execution price, and the order did not fill. And now if we try to place another order, it won't let us. And so this is really good. This is really good, Charles Schwab. As a major financial institution, I just got done watching Elon Musk become the first fraudulent trillionaire. Again, every major tech company is directly stealing from my intellectual property. Nobody cares because Brad Boas is not allowed to be a person. And I can't even close out a trade of 100 whopping shares for a great loss of $2. But it doesn't matter. We do not have executional certainty that when I place an order, it's going to get placed. Fantastic. This is an A+ for a great financial institution.
All representatives are currently assisting other clients. Please remain on the line.
This is the most ridiculous and unacceptable shit ever. But you guys have no problem charging interest. Nobody can do their job. Not one person can do their job. You can't live a life in a country where nothing works, ever. If this is a real position, this is real money. Luckily, it's $2, but your orders don't execute? How is anybody employed? Now, all representatives are still assisting other customers. How do you trade if this happens with a real position? You can't. It ruins your whole day, man. Like, you literally can't function. You sit down to do work and everyone's so fucking stupid, you can't do anything. Once I plug in my microphone, we'll talk about the SpaceX IPO. But again, you can't do work. You can't get into work. Everyone's incompetent and nothing works. Oh, there's consensus. We just proved that yesterday in math class. All of logic is proven. It's theft. It's supposed to be protected by the Constitution. That shit's a joke. Great, Schwab. Look, I can get some tidbits on the market while I'm waiting when your order execution doesn't work. That's useful. That's super good. I can't execute an order on this security. It says link orders. There are no open orders. There are no open orders on this security. I can't do anything. What a barnacle land of nothing, man. You can't even get somebody on the phone. There's no trade desk. Major financial institution. Your accounting statement says disallowed loss. It does that. That's so many double negatives. You can't even follow what you're trying to say. What do you guys do all day? Honestly, what does anybody do all day? None of your systems work. Oh, we're still on the line. Overshot, overbold. This position has an existing closing order. No, it doesn't. It's not doing anything. Oh, look. Look how up to date it is. SpaceX already went public. Hello, is there a person on here yet? And so, like I said, if you saw the order fill chart or the order thing, I had a stop loss and it went through the execution price and it just glitched. Didn't execute the order, and now it says there's an existing closing order and there's nothing I can do. And now you can't even get a person on the line. Oh, now I'm up $2. Doesn't matter. This is the most absurd barnacle level nothing works land ever. If this is a real position, how is this possible? The internet connection's fine. You just can't live a life when nothing works. I'm going to cut this video here because I'm just going to sit here until somebody picks up, and who knows. Friday, June 12th, 12:25 p.m. So as you can see, I've plugged in my microphone now. We had a small position open up on Gemmy. I had a hard stop loss set at $4.63, just above my entry price. We went through that price. And now we're sitting down $1. Doesn't matter. This is a huge deal to me, to anybody. How do you trade if you do not have confidence that your broker is going to execute the trades? So what we're sitting at right now is, it has been about almost 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And I can't get through to anybody at Schwab. And there was a stop loss. It went through that price. That order tried to execute. Something happened where it's not executing, and I can't place another order. This is like the biggest deal ever. Nothing works in this fucking shit country. Nothing. Literally 0 things. And so I can't even get somebody on the phone. There's no like trade desk. There's no nothing. And so that's what we've been doing, and I just keep calling back. And then it's the same. There's no, how do you get to a person? This is my money. You advertise the service. I want to use your service. You took in my money. You take fees. Can I execute an order? No. And now I can't even get through to anybody on a phone. I can't even get into like a queue or something. Some chick just transferred me to the Thinkorswim experts. This is a basic limit order that didn't get executed. How do we fix that? So it's a perfect example of casual fucking fraud, which isn't casual. How do I get my money secured? Well, you can't. You can call in and listen to an automated system, and then it just doesn't respond. Schwab automated system. I am looking for a person, please. Person. And then the automated system.
This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
And then it just goes in and out of this.
And ready to trade or need service on your existing account, press 1.
That's us. Existing a client.
You've reached Schwab.
Then we just sit on hold for 20 minutes. Unlivable country. This is completely unacceptable. Like, I don't even know how this functions. How does this happen? If this is a real position, this can just wipe you out. This can just fuck you. As you can see, we're down 55 cents. This is a huge deal. This does not matter. You can't live a life here. I am destitute. I have been seeking asylum. My rights are violated so profoundly. I just want to be able to eat properly, sleep properly, and work. I sit down to do a math video, and this shit happens. One person, one thing not working, and then it just creates such a turmoil and such a problem. How do you advertise a service and not follow through? That's fraud. That's just what it is. And see, now we're back to, again, I know I'm talking, so I might be messing with this, but I was just sitting on hold for 20 minutes. After being transferred, I got an actual person, trade desk. I would like to speak to somebody at the trade desk. I would like to talk to somebody at the trade desk. Active trader. Trading. A trade order did not go through. I would like to talk to somebody about a trade. Schwab automated system. I am addressing you. I would like to talk to the person at the trade desk. A trader. Somebody who manages order flow. Great service, Schwab. This really works well, dude. A stop-loss order was not executed. I would like to speak to somebody at the trade desk. Oh, press 2 for trading. Look, if you can, the whopping financial acumen of your automated system is, can I check my account balance, or, well, I forget what the other option was. Trading. I press 2 for trading. All these AI systems, they're crushing it. I mean, this AI workflow, our CapEx expenditure, this is such respectful of Brad's money, Brad's property. As a United States citizen, I can't live a life anyway. Can I at least manage the money that I can't even manage as I sit here and wait to get extorted by the IRS illegally? No one cares. This world's just a big game. Me, play games. Want somebody you're ahead of somebody. Who cares? Hello, Charles Schwab automated system. I am trying to get to the trade desk trading. And for the video, again, I was doing this before talking. Maybe it's messing it up, but it was doing this before for 20 minutes. And so again, just documenting, we're down 55 cents, but what is happening here is absolutely categorically unacceptable. I don't know how this is a thing. This is always, again, a billion different people could buy a product or a service, and I'm going to get the one that is just absolutely fucked. That's what my life is. I went to school for 15 years, every day, and told people I wasn't learning anything. Let me do research, and they didn't let me. And now that research has profound financial value. It is sitting on the internet. It is a proof. And so I'm just going to hang up. I'll call him back. As we can see, again, we have this is 100 shares. If this goes down 50 cents, that's $50. I can't get through to anybody. And then it just sits and then just bounces. It doesn't even bounce me around. I can't get through asking for somebody at a trade desk for order flow is something so clear. How do you live a life, man? And I don't know what to do. That's the number you call. Those are the buttons you press. And again, I was doing this before I clicked on this video. And so I wasn't talking to a microphone and to a phone at the same time, and it was still not getting me to anybody. I got to one chick, she was like, "Oh, let me get you through to TD Ameritrade experts." A limit order is like the most basic shit you could ever do ever. But I was going to make a quick video and just say, hey, we're popping on. I'm seeing some activity on SpaceX. Not going to trade the IPO, expecting the overall market to go down after it opens up. Again, so we took a super small position on Snow. I don't know if this is going to hold. Like, I have a stop loss order right here. Is this going to execute if this one hits? Who knows? Are you allowed to protect your money? Again, casual fraud. You advertise a service. My internet connection's fine. It says I would pull up the monitor tab, but it says it rejected an order. Somehow it went through the stop loss. It tried to execute that stop loss order. Something in that order flow messed up, and now I cannot enter another trade, at least on that security, and I'm afraid to click over here. Nothing works. It's just like a minefield of shit you should not have to worry about, and it just doesn't work. If these are real positions, this could be catastrophic. How do you live a life, man? I wake up every day, I work every day, I do stuff every day, I do nothing besides work. And just no one respects the law to the point where it is impossible to live any aspect of your life. And so I guess, again, I was literally sitting down to do a math video. And now I have to say, do I have to sit here on hold for 30 minutes to an hour to get some fucking idiot to transfer me to somebody else to sit on hold for another 20 minutes to 30 minutes for one order? One. The most basic order type you could execute. A limit order as a stop loss. Well, frankly, it was just a stop loss, which converts to a market order once a trade executes below or above that price, depending if you're long or short. And then it just literally the order flow, it just says the order is working, but it doesn't. And then I click cancel that order or link the order, and then it is a technical mess up for the order flow from Thinkorswim to Schwab to somebody. You cannot live a life in this country in any way, shape, or form, not 1 minute of one day. So that's where this video is going to end. I was going to try to talk about the markets, I was going to try to do math, but now you have to figure out how to unfuck this shit that should never happen. So another great day here in America. Freedom, bald eagles screeching. Thank you, governors and president. You guys are all great. Awesome stuff. And Schwab. Can't emphasize enough Schwab. This is just categorically unacceptable.